And we're live on YouTube. Good morning. Office hours. This is for all of you. What do we want to talk about today? Anybody got any questions about the deployment homework from this last week? Anything? Any thoughts? Feedback? It's my
Hi, Nathan. This is Phobelia. Can you walk me through the steps of deployment? I've installed Heroku.
Yeah, let's do it. Can you share your screen?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Have you did the Heroku login? Awesome. Okay, you're in the folder where your front end is, correct?
I may have to log in again because I did the login a few days ago and just let it sit like that.
That's fine. It'll keep you logged in for
Oh, okay.
long periods of time. All right. So you're deploying a static website, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you do a git status right here in this terminal, show us what git thinks is going on in here. Okay. All right. CD up one level. Dot. Yep. Enter. Do another git status. So what we're trying to see is where the root of that git repo is.
Oh, okay.
So git status.
It's slow again. Okay. I just wanted one S on that. Okay.
So you're not in a git repo, which means that the folder that we were in, was the top of the git repo. And that matters because when we deploy, we need to have a specific setup in that folder in order to deploy static files. If you're deploying a create React app, the top level of your git repo should have a package.json, a source, all of those create React app things. But if you're deploying static files, the top of your Git repo should have a folder that contains your static files and then another file called static.json. So we need to go ahead and set that up. So if you cd into my capstone again.
Okay.
Yep. I think you have a capital C in it. Maybe that'll work.
I can just enter and then.
Oh, it worked. Cool.
Oh, okay.
All righty. So from here, we need to make a folder, and we're going to call that folder src. This is going to be your source code folder for your capstone. So to make a folder in the terminal, you say mkdir.
Okay.
Make directory.
Oops. Can I just
back up?
It's not letting me delete it, so.
Control C.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. So the command to make a folder is mkdir. Okay, space, and then the folder name that you want to create. So src. Okay, enter. All right, let's do an ls really quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
An ls?
MLS?
Nope, just ls.
LS, okay.
Okay, yep.
And enter?
Yep. Is the enter key not working?
You know, I was just about to ask you that because I hit enter twice. Okay, I just hit enter again. Does it usually take a long time to pull up the list or?
No.
Uh-oh.
So let's do this. Just open up a terminal. So you've got one next to your Zoom icon down there next to Slack. See the black square in your dock down below?
Black square next to right here?
No, down on the dock where you open up Chrome and Slack and Zoom and all those different windows down below.
Okay, I see.
Go over to the right. There's a black. Yep, that right there. Let's grab
that one. Okay.
All right, let's cd into, well, let's ls first and let's see what's here.
Oh, now it shows up.
Code in my code?
I have a folder called my dash code.
Okay.
And I actually have a folder, my code folder too.
So let's get to your capstone. How do you get to your capstone from your?
Okay, my capstone is in its own folder.
Is it in the desktop? Is it in documents?
It's on the desktop.
Okay, so cd into to the desktop.
Okay.
CDs. Yep.
Forgot how to spell.
Okay. Do an ls here. What's here?
Okay, and it is right.
Is it the capstone folder?
See capstone images.
So in the terminal, say cd.
Okay.
Space. Capstone.
Or my capstone or just?
No, just capstone.
Just capstone. Okay.
I think that's it. Okay. Enter. ls. There it is. My capstone. Okay, so let's cd into my capstone. I think this one you're gonna have to do. Oh no, hit enter. This worked last time. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
LS again. Now we're back to where we were, but in a terminal that works. Okay. So we've got an SRC folder and we've got everything else in there. So if we want to move all of the files that are in this directory inside of the SRC directory, because we're doing static files and we need everything shoved inside of a folder. If we want to do that, we can say MV space.
MV, V is in Victor?
Yep.
Okay.
MV for move space star space. No, sorry, the symbol star on the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
The asterisk.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Star.
Yep,
Space.
star space and then SRC, the folder. So this says take everything where I currently am and shove it into the SRC folder. And hit enter.
Okay.
It's going to give you an error and it's going to say I can't move the folder source into source, which makes sense. But it moved everything else. Okay, so now let's get to deploy it. So you need to make for a static file, you need to make a file called static.json. So to make a brand new file in the terminal, you say touch space, and then whatever the file name that you want to create is. So we want to create a file called static.json.
Static.json?
Yep.
Do I need the space there or just
Nope.
static?
It's a file extension. It means it's a JSON file type. Just like a docx or a txt or a PDF. Okay, hit enter. All right, we've got a file there. And if you open, yep, it's over there in VS Code.
Okay.
So let's click on it in VS Code. We need to add some stuff to it.
So just get out of the terminal and click on this.
Yeah, just click on that and we'll
Okay.
get the terminal back in a sec. Okay, let me give you some stuff to put in there. I'm gonna give this to you in Slack.
Okay.
But this is on the slides if you want to reference them. So module 10 slides for the static.json. It needs to be an object. Okay. So I'm going to give this to you. Here you go. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
It is this.
Oops.
So that second one I sent you. So take that, paste it into static.json.
Oops. Okay.
And all this is it's telling Heroku where the folder is that contains all of your static files, so it can use that when it's serving.
Okay,
So let's go to
gotcha.
static.json, click inside the window.
Click inside just anywhere in here or?
No, like inside of static.json
Oh,
the file,
okay.
so we can edit it. So click like on line 1 to your right.
Okay. Oh, right up there. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep.
Oops. You can get the
Yep.
cursor in there and then paste the information
Yep.
that you just gave me. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I know this is completely random looking to you, but this has special meaning to Heroku. So that root key, it takes in the name of the folder for what you want to put up on Heroku. So we're giving it that source folder.
Okay.
It's going to take everything in the SRC directory and it's going to push that up to Heroku. And then that clean URLs, you can check the documentation if you want, but it does some kind of nice stuff to to your files. Like for example, if you went to index.html in the browser, it would chop off the index.html part and put it at root, just like you would expect when you go and visit a website. You don't have to type in facebook.com/index.html or google.com/index.html. So it strips all of that for you. All right. Have you installed the Roku remote?
I don't believe so.
Okay, no worries. Let's go into Heroku. So let's open up Chrome or Firefox or something.
I have to save this.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah, open up Chrome. Okay.
All right. Let's go to Heroku. Oh, you have 2 tabs open for Heroku. Great. So let's open that other one. Yep.
This one right here. Okay.
This is going to be your front end.
Yes.
Great. All right. So if you, let's see. Does anybody remember where those handy dandy little links are for copy pasting the remote? Is it on the dashboard? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I think it was on the dashboard.
I think so too. I'm trying to see if you full screen this.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
Let's move this out the way.
No,
Okay.
oh, it's on the deploy tab. So click, you're on the overview tab. If you go, see where it says overview, resources, deploy.
Yes.
Click on deploy. I think this is it.
Okay. Do I just log in from here?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me see if I can remember my password.
We're all judging you. All right, let's scroll down.
Okay.
Hey, you did on the first try. That's better than me. I would get nervous. All right, see where it says create a new Git repository?
Git repository. Did I?
Not to deploy your application, but right above it, create a new Git repository.
I can't see.
I wish there was a way for me to mark on the screen.
Okay, Git repository.
All right, so see where it says install the Heroku CLI, the steps in the middle of the page?
Yes.
All right, keep going down a little bit. See, create a new Git repository below it.
Yep.
Okay, there's an instruction there. Heroku Git remote A Phobelia front end. Copy that.
Oh, this one right here.
Yep,
right?
grab that one.
Oh,
Because you already have a Git repo. We just need to grab the. And yep, okay. Let's go back to the terminal.
The terminal. Oops.
So it is down in
smaller.
Oh, okay.
Put that down there somewhere. Okay, back to the terminal.
Let's use the fast terminal.
So okay.
It's down there. Yep, that one right there. Cool. All right. Let's paste.
Okay. Oh, you said paste. Okay.
Yep.
Like
and then take your arrow keys, go all the way to the beginning and chop off that $sign.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Yeah, the cursor's not going to work. You got to use, yeah.
Okay,
sorry about
got
that.
it. That's okay. Gotta love technology.
So when you see the $signs and examples, that's to indicate that it's a example for use in the terminal. So that $sign is supposed to mean this is a command that you would run in the terminal, not necessarily that the $sign is a part of the command.
I was wondering about that. Okay.
Yep. So if you hit enter now, this is going to hook up your code on your computer with Heroku. So go ahead and hit enter.
Hit enter.
See how it says it's set up a remote for Heroku to your Phobelia front end?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're linked up. Now we need to do one more step, and I'll pull that from the slides really quick. come over to Slack and let me give you this. Yep. So go to Slack. I sent you. Yep. Grab that command.
Okay.
It's Heroku build packs set.
What's that at? Okay. Oh, this one. Okay.
Mhm.
Whoops.
Nice. Okay. Let's go back to the terminal.
And paste that one in there.
Mm-hmm. But instead of, so backslash until you get to the -A. So instead of just app name, we're going to put yours in there. So go ahead and backspace until you get to the.
Oh, okay. Do I have the backspace by using the arrows again, or can I
No, just backspace like you would normally. Yep. Keep going
Okay.
all the way up to the -A, but leave that space there. Great. All right.
Okay.
Now let's put in the name of your app. So we're going to upload a build pack for your app. So let's grab that Phobelia front end. That's the name that you've. You can
Oh,
type it out or you can copy and paste it. It's up to you.
yeah.
Do you see it on the previous line? You did a -A.
The previous line.
Keep going up. Keep going up with your cursor.
Up,
There it is,
up.
right there. On that line, that Heroku get remote -A.
Oh, okay.
You also passed a Phobelia front end. That's what we want to do on this line. We want to give it a -A Phobelia front end.
A -A Phobelia front end. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So
All
this-
of these Heroku commands expect you to pass a -A and the name of what your app is.
Okay.
Great. Okay, let's hit enter. This is going to set up your Heroku app to accept the static build pack. All right, cool. Before we push, what do we need to do with Git? You see, it's telling us we could git push Heroku main to create a new release. We can do that, but before we do a git push, do you remember what we should do before we push our code up?
Does it have to be pushed up to the repository?
We could do that. That would actually be a really good idea because we've made a pretty drastic change. We've moved all of our code into a folder called SRC. So we've really shuffled stuff around. So it would be a good idea to get GitHub in sync with that change. But do we necessarily have to tell GitHub about our changes in order to make a deploy? No, we don't. We don't really need to tell GitHub. It's a good idea. Let's actually do that first because that is a good idea. So
Okay.
let's do a git status and let's see what's going on. Remember, you can run git status anytime, anywhere, and it will tell you what's going on in your. Okay, hit enter. So see how it thinks you've deleted a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh my God. Okay.
So Git's not that smart. Git's pretty dumb at the end of the day. So, but what it's not seeing is if you see that untracked files section.
Yeah.
So there's an SRC. Remember we moved everything into that SRC folder?
Right.
So Git's not seeing it. So it's not getting the full picture of what's happening here in this Git repo. So we need to tell Git, no, we didn't delete everything. We really just moved it. So we need to tell Git to start watching those files. So if we want Git to start watching these files, what we would say is git add.
Okay. Add.
And then git add takes an argument. It takes what you want Git to start watching. So the argument we're going to pass it is if you hit space and then dot, that means Git watch everything that's going on here in this folder. Okay, hit enter. Okay, let's run git status again and see what Git thinks is going on here. Okay. Oh, so I know other folks, when we've done Git on different people's computers and we've added a new folder, sometimes Git is smart and it will realize that you really just moved things. So Phobelia got lucky, and here Git was smart enough to see that, in fact, we didn't delete all these things, but they just got renamed. So Git will sometimes, it's, I haven't divined what the rationale, like what you have to do specifically in order to get Git to realize it, but sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll figure out it just got moved. Sometimes it will think you deleted all the files and then you made a whole bunch of brand new ones.
Oh, cool.
All right, so now we've got all these changes. Do you remember? It's been a little while, but do you remember what we need to do now that we have all these changes? There's a specific Git command we need to use.
No, I don't.
So it's git commit. So we're going to bundle up all these changes.
Okay, no, it's a short command too.
Yeah. So git commit, do you remember the arguments we passed git commit? Takes a dash, so a space and a dash. Takes two flags. Do you happen to remember what those are?
I know I wrote it down somewhere.
So it takes AM, right?
Okay.
Which means we're going to commit everything. A means all, and then M means we're going to pass in a message. So let's pass in a message. So say space, and then open up some quotation marks. We're going to give this bundle of changes a message on GitHub. So what did we do here? We moved files into SRC. So if you backspace and don't close the quotation, yep, just start of a quotation. So let's type out a message. This is just a human readable message that describes the changes you made. So let's just start typing renamed files to SRC. Now you can put whatever you want there. That's just a message for you to keep track of, to put a name to the commit, to be able to associate what's going on.
That one, that sounds good.
Yeah, okay, so hit enter. All right, so this is the commit. It's bundled all that stuff up. Now we need to push it. So let's first push it to GitHub. So to push to GitHub, we would say git push origin.
Okay, space.
Yep.
Okay.
Space. And then main. I think it's main. Go ahead and hit enter. Just gonna take it a second.
Okay.
Nice. Miss Fo. Okay, let's go to GitHub and let's look at the GitHub page. So if you open up your browser.
Open up the browser. Okay.
And then you go to github.com.
Oh, sure. Okay. Whoops.
Github.com. And then sign in.
Okay. Here's the tricky part again.
Up at the top, I think this is going to create a new account. If you go up to the top, at the top right of.
Oh.
Yep. Oh yeah, we're gonna put you under the gun. Don't mess up.
Okay, here I am, and I think I have a slightly different password for this. Let me see.
Well, the length is good. It would pass our validation homework we did a week back.
Okay. Got
cool.
it.
All right. So I think the repo we pushed to is, if you look over on the left, it shows you all of the repositories you have. I think the one we pushed to was my capstone.
I believe so. Yeah, Miss Fo, my capstone.
So let's click on that link over there. Updated 2 minutes ago. There we go. See how it has your name, renamed files to SRC?
Okay, I see.
So that's where that message, when you do your commit, that's where that message shows up. It just shows up here on GitHub.
Okay.
So it's just a human miss. Okay, so we got GitHub in sync. We didn't have to do this, but we did it anyways because we want to have a backup of all of your capstone on GitHub. All right,
Definitely.
let's go back to the terminal and let's push to Heroku now.
Okay. Go to the terminal. And one terminal coming up.
So all you need to do is git push Heroku main. So origin is GitHub, Heroku is Heroku. So git push Heroku main.
And enter.
Space main,
Space main. Okay.
just like the git push origin main command. Yep. Hit
Okay,
enter.
gotcha.
This should be it. Hit enter. Yeah. Come on, Heroku.
Come on.
Do you have a lot of images in this?
I do.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave you here because this you should be good. I think the
Okay.
time-consuming part, just leave this terminal alone. I think the
Mhm.
time-consuming part is going to be pushing your images for the first time. After that,
Oh,
it
okay.
should get much smarter about you're not re-uploading images every time. But here's the important part. When this deploy finishes, if you want to continue making deploys, so let's say you change your capstone and you want to deploy it again to Heroku,
Right.
here's the important steps to follow. Make your
Okay.
changes, run the git commit -am and create a message, just like we did.
Okay.
Follow that up with a git push a git push Heroku main. So run those two commands and you will get a new deploy. That's going to be your new deploy loop. When you want to make changes, do a git commit, do a git push.
Okay, so those are the only three things that I'll have to do. Actually, two commands and then make the changes and then do the two commands whenever I make changes.
Exactly. So if you wanted
Okay.
to take a screenshot of the last two commands, that's up to you. But if you've got them in your notes, perfect. Otherwise, that's all you need to do from here on out to make deploys.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And don't forget, sprinkle in a git push origin main every once in a while. That's going to keep your GitHub in sync as well. But the important part for deploying is to make commits, push them to Heroku.
Okay, very good then.
Cool. Let me know if you run into any problems. Otherwise, you'll be good to go after this.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're very welcome.
Cool.
Anybody else got some deploys they want to talk about? Other things, questions?
I'll let people deploying things go first because I know that's important for the weekend homework. I'm still trying to get some stuff working on my back end before I try deploying it. We did talk about going through my Cypress test that was not working without forced true. That was from a couple weeks ago, but if there's time, I would be interested in going through that.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
My database problems are with the SQLize, so I think maybe I should message Matt about it. I don't know how much you think you said you weren't that familiar with SQLize, so.
Well, I've become familiar with SQLize actually over the last week. I think Latonia helped me become familiar. Susan helped me become familiar. So we could jump into that.
Yeah, unless somebody else has trouble deploying that they need help with, that's more important. So.
Yeah, does anybody else have a deploy that at this point, everybody, I don't want anybody to be stressing about like last minute homework and getting front ends and back ends deployed. If nobody has gotten at least a front end deploy, you should definitely say something now. If you haven't gotten your back end deploy, you know, like I said, I usually don't grade until Wednesday anyway, so you got plenty of time to
Hey Nathan, this is Latonia.
Hey.
I have a deploy question, but it's not about, well, I don't know if it's about deploying. So when I deploy, one of my videos is not showing in the deployed version, but when I go to it on a different device, it is there. And I'm just wondering, it's not, I don't think it's a cache issue because I clean that like a lot. And the deploy seems to be working fine otherwise. I'm just curious if you have any random thoughts about what that might be. And don't feel like you need to have an answer right now. This can actually wait. But I just wanted to put it out there.
No, you're spot on. Those are the things I would check. First would be cache. And then if it's, are you, so is it like an MP4?
It is, yeah. And I've even just deployed without any changes. Like I've done it again just to see if maybe for some reason it didn't. But like I said, it's working on other devices in the same browser. So I don't know why.
So if it's an MP4, you're not doing anything except for just displaying the MP4. So you're putting in a video tag.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're not wrapping it with anything fancy like a JavaScript library to add functionality. It's just okay. If it's
it has some stuff in there, it has like the hover play and pause and that, but there's nothing that you would consider fancy. Like it's not wrapped in anything. It's just in those video tags and
just HTML5 video tag. Yeah. See, if you could hit that from a device, then yeah, that kind of exhausts all the really obvious ones. There's definitely other things to try, but
okay.
One last call before we jump into some of these other problems. Anybody not deployed their front end? Kyle, you're good, or you're on the path to being good. I know.
Yeah, I actually have a little bit of working code on there now, so I'm feeling much better about it. I had some help over the weekend, and yeah.
Brielle, are you feeling good about your front end deploy? Did we get to okay, great. Mel, how about you? Did we get a front end deploy for you? Awesome. Okay, great. Okay, for the folks that have backends that haven't, I'm not talking you deployed it and it broke. I mean, like we just haven't even done a backend deploy for you yet. Is anybody in that boat? Brielle, dude, let's go. Let's do it.
No, I think I'll be good. I just haven't done it yet. I'm still still tweaking things.
It's free.
I know.
This is
no, I'd rather
low pressure.
No, Kyle's ready for help right now, and I'm not. So thank you, though.
I insist. What's the worst that can happen?
Let me work on tweaking things while you help her, and maybe by the end of that, I'll be up for it.
Just curious, what are the things that you think are blockers to doing the initial deploy?
I just want it working better. I'm trying to work on a password form submit page right now, and I don't want it.
Next week we're going to talk about how to do those things. So I don't think you should think of that as a blocker to deployment.
All right, I will comment things out right now, and then after Kyle, okay. I will get it done.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so actually, Kyle, can we do Latonia's really quick? Because I think we could probably knock that out.
Sure.
And then we'll just crowdsource the MP4 issue. So Latonia, do you want to give us the URL to your MP4 in chat?
Hold on 1 second. So I'm taking this out of the console.
Well,
that works. You said to the MP4, right?
What is the website that this is on? Can you give us the link?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You said when you said the MP4, I thought you just wanted that.
Okay, so from here, we should be able to load a /static. So for everybody in chat, if you could open up that link in your browser, tell me if you're able to load, it looks like it's is this like an inverted or a,
Sounds like you're making fun of me, Nathan.
no, I mean, why is it super saturated? What's the,
Where are you?
well, click on that link. It should be the MP4 for your,
Did it come up? Because it wouldn't even work for me.
it came up for me.
Playing on mine, there's no sound, but
No, there's not
water's
supposed to be any
moving.
sound. Okay. Well, what, Kyle? I'm sorry.
the water is moving.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, it is moving. Okay.
Yeah.
You see it. So it must be my computer. Maybe
Did
it's
you
a, huh?
What am I seeing? Did you colorize this?
Oh, yeah, I did super saturate it. I'm sorry. Yes, it's supposed to yes, it's supposed to be funky looking.
That's really cool.
Thank you. So it's working. What browser are you in, Kyle? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm just in Chrome.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was in. So it just must be my
I could
computer.
try a different browser though. I
I'm
could
in
try
Firefox.
Safari, or I
Yeah,
think those are the only two I
Firefox.
have on here.
Okay, so it's working in at least two. And probably it does work in Safari. I don't know.
Yep, it's working in my Safari too.
Okay. Yeah, I think it must be my device. Maybe it's back to that storage issues. I can't even use my Adobe Suite anymore because of my scratch disk. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, we have confirmed, the group has confirmed that the video file is up
Yeah.
there and it can be
Thanks,
loaded.
Dominique.
I could try it on a PC too if you want.
No, no, we're good. I think we know, at least for
I
that.
think it's all right though. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Nathan, for doing that.
All right, Kyle, I think you're up.
Okay, so I have all my models going through. I have backend with multiple models, and I
Okay.
needed to sync
Connect
them all, like tie them all together through one key. And Max helped me get started yesterday, and I haven't been able to get like all of them to show up in Postman. They're all going into the database. So
Okay.
when I look in Beekeeper Studio, all the data is there. It updates every time I run it and stuff like that. But for some reason, only the main one and the last one are coming through in the GET request. And I tried doing it all kinds of ways in terms of like trying to nest the things or I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but
You want to share?
yeah, so I guess I can share my screen. So all I really want to do before I deploy is just at least get the GET request working.
Mm-hmm. So you're not having problems connecting to the Postgres on Heroku.
No.
So can you
Wait,
go
on
to
Heroku?
where?
I haven't deployed yet.
Oh, you have been looking in Beekeeper, and when you go to Beekeeper, you're really looking at your local Postgres.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, let's look at the code. So this is the endpoint sites. This is where we are doing the get, and it's returning
Right.
first and last.
Is that how I would do the includes? Because I tried them a few other ways. This one is just showing the sites returns and the text credit, and it skips all these other ones.
So let me,
And
again,
then
I'm
I
not a
tried it-
SQLize expert, but include is meant to fetch foreign key relationships, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it. All right.
Exactly.
So photo, location, sound effects, text credit, they all have a forward key back to site. And what you're saying is site
Exactly.
needs to
And I
hydrate all those
specified
relationships.
that, right. And I specified, where did I specify the foreign key? Let's see. It's in the database, I believe.
Oh, you've got the same thing Latonia has, where you guys created a whole bunch of dummy data if.
Yeah, Max helped me do this.
Got it. All right.
Here we go. That's where I've got them all. And they all have the same key. So.
All right. Yep, it's all a relationship back to site ID. So or back to the site model. So when I would guess that it's something more simple here. I would guess that it's potentially that when you create those models, it's not with the correct forward key relationship. So show me in Beekeeper, we should be able to look at the location table, the photo table, the sound effect table, the text credit. We should be able to look at each of
Wrong
those.
black screen here. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So here is sites. So you've got a site ID. That makes sense. Let's click on locations. Let's start with that one first.
Okay.
So this has a foreign key relationship to, yep. So it has a site ID of 1. Is this one, does location show up in the GET request?
No.
Doesn't, okay. Let's click on
Oh,
photos.
this is what's coming back. So I've got sites and then that last one, text. And if I did it a little bit different, like I had it with, I don't like having them all in one window here. Let's see, I want to get back to Visual Studio Code. I had it as server. Okay, when I was doing it this way, it returned sites and photos. So it's grabbing that first one.
Okay.
And this is, I added those all there, but this is what Max got working with me successfully, and that returned photos as well. So I don't quite know. And then I tried nesting them, even though they're not.
Wait, go back up. Go back up. So hold on. Let's talk for a second.
Yeah.
Let's look at line 15. I know nothing about SQLize, but I do know about JavaScript rules.
15.
So,
okay.
Yep, line 15. That is a curly brace. What does that indicate that the data type being passed into find all? What is the date? So find all, that method, site.findAll.
Yeah.
What is the argument? What is it expecting you to pass it?
An object.
An object. What are the rules for creating objects in JavaScript?
You have to have a key, which would be included.
You have to have a key, right? And then you have to have a what goes with the key?
A value.
Right. So when you're building an object, you must conform to a key value pair. What are the rules for the key value pairs?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. Okay.
So one of the most important
things
rules
need to
for
be in
key
quotes?
value.
No, that's JSON. That's JSON.
Nope, that's JSON. But the rules are so similar that with just a little tweak, yeah, you're right. They both are close. But one of the most important rules when you're building an object or JSON for that matter is that every key needs to be unique.
Oh.
So notice how you're going to get into a situation where the last man wins here. Is text credit the last include statement here?
But they have to be modeled, don't they? Because that's
scroll down. Show me what the last entry is here.
Yeah. And it crashed
Text
when
credit.
I tried nesting them.
But see how the last one is text credit and it's correctly displaying text credit in the.
So maybe I just need to separate these into different. No, they have to be in one find all.
I think what you want to do is you want to take all. So I think obviously you can only have one include statement. That's just a rule for JavaScript. You have to have one unique key. You can't have duplicates. So I think what you want to try is take model photo, copy it, put a comma after it, and paste it a number of times and put each model in as its own object. Does that make sense? Have you tried that?
Oh, yeah, I did. But yeah, let me just comment this out. I don't remember exactly what I did, but it wasn't working either.
But see, what you're doing up above isn't right either.
I know.
Sorry, what you're doing down below isn't right either. I think if you make a JavaScript object, and because this is an array and it's taking in an array of different objects, I think if you go this route, like
I tried that, but
let's throw these two in and let's see.
What's the other one's called? Sound effect. All right. Why is it all coming through this time? Oh my goodness. I must have done something wrong before. Okay. That was a simple fix. Thank you. I swear I tried that before and it wasn't working.
It works?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I think there's even a simpler way I'm seeing online where,
Definitely this time. I'm trying to think.
okay, for funsies, can we go back and can you just comment out not the include statement, but all the objects inside the include statement? So lines 17 through 20.
Okay.
And yeah, comment out 20 as well, real quick.
Oh, through 20. Okay.
So instead of passing include a list of objects, let's pass it a list of strings. And each string will be photo, location, sound effect. So let's pass it a list of strings. So yep, give us a new line. And then should we start with quotations? Let's give it
Okay.
quotation photo. So these are the names of each of your models, okay, comma, and then, yep. Let's add one more. Let's do location. All right, I think that'll be enough to prove
Okay,
whether
just
this
to
works
test
or
it.
not.
Yeah. No.
So the server, can you look at the terminal and see what the server is waiting for file changes? What is the error? Ah, okay. So we would have to set up aliases for each of these. Not a big deal. The syntax you had was correct. I just wanted to see if that would work.
What's an alias?
I think it's probably a Sequelize thing. I don't know. Postgres has aliases, but I'm guessing it's a Sequelize deal. I'm not a Sequelize expert.
Oh, it said in the error thing that you need an alias. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, use it.
That's why I have no idea. I swear I was doing that last night and it was not working.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like the
It's
syntax
probably
better. I was
typoed
just
something
curious.
and then I was too tired to realize it and just assumed that the whole thing wasn't working. So thank you.
Well, this was easy. I mean, you had all the foreign key relationships set up. That was the hard part. I was thinking we were at the debug. This is great.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Don't need that anymore either. Oh, what's it doing? Okay, I must have accidentally deleted something that I shouldn't have.
I think we just need another curly brace and a closure. So if you,
Yeah, I'm just trying to delete this more slow. Oh, I deleted that one.
yeah,
That's what I
that's
did.
it. Yeah, good catch.
Okay. And too many things commented out. All right. Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Actually, I guess now I could try deploying.
Yeah, go for the deploy. Let me know if you run into any problem. Oh, yeah, definitely go for the deploy because Latonia's got some stuff she wants to share with you about how to hook Sequelize up to Heroku Postgres.
Okay. Should I do it with
Definitely.
sharing my screen or just do it while somebody else?
Let's see if anybody else has anything, and then we'll come back because you're inevitably going to hit an error that Latonia has a fix for. So,
Okay.
anybody else got fun? Nothing is off limits.
I got the back end deployed. The build succeeded and all that. So
Didn't even need us.
I just went through the slides again. Yeah.
So when you say it deployed, tell me how do you know it deployed successfully?
Well, it said it in the terminal, and then on the website it said build succeeded and deployed with a confirmation number. But I mean, when I launch it, when I open app, nothing's there because I commented most of it out that I was working on.
Are you able to get a 200 from the app? Like prove that the server is alive, it's returning anything. It can be an empty list. It can be.
Well, when I was doing it locally, I do, but on Heroku, I don't.
Can you share your screen so we can?
I'm on the wrong device. It just says application error, but I think it's okay for now. I just need to spend some more time working on the code. So.
Do you talk to a database in your backend?
Yes, but that's part of what I commented out because it's Postgres. Okay. So I would be interested to see the Sequelize Postgres thing with Latonia and
cool.
Kyle. So.
And Latonia, I think you're probably going to want to. I think you'll probably want to put that in the student pasted code because folks that need SQLized, they're going to need those magic options to. So whenever you want to do that. Anybody else? That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to just do the deploy on your own. Makes me feel like I'm not even needed.
The slides are really helpful. I wish more teachers had done slides during all the classes.
Well, I'll be honest, I really didn't do, so I prepped way before it was my turn to teach, and I didn't have the kind of slides that, you have now. So I'm glad that you guys are getting some use out of them. Here's the link to the slides. Yeah, Brielle, tomorrow when we start on cryptography, I've got a bunch of good slides for you. Really excited to talk about cryptography tomorrow because I know a few of you have logins, and I'm going to do my best to convince you that we shouldn't write our own username password stuff. But if you decide you really want to do that, we'll talk about that too next week.
So I am not having users log in so much as I just have a password to authenticate because I'm using a form page to submit data, like a private admin form page with just a password there, just to make sure whoever finds it, it's like a form page that there's no links to it, but if somebody like happens to do /form, I don't want them to add things to my database.
So you implicitly have a one user account that everyone can log into.
Yeah, just one like admin table with a password that will authenticate for the other data to be submitted. Well, it'll have to be a good password, right?
Well, I'm saying it's a lot of trust because if everybody's sharing the same, you're not creating a user account, but it's implicitly one user account. If everybody's sharing that.
No, it's only for administration. I don't plan to have any like people create user accounts. This is just for submitting for admin, for me. For adding to my database.
I see. That's interesting. Yeah, that would work. If it's only for you, then yeah. Yeah, I even in that situation though, I'm still gonna try to give you a sales pitch because doing password storage is hard. I don't know if anybody has gotten into just how difficult that is. For one person, not too terribly hard, but you still need to learn. There's still going to be a lot to unpack there. The alternative that I'm going to try to give you all a sales pitch on is, have you ever seen that you can click log in with Google, log in with Facebook, log in with all these other. So if you set your website up in such a way to delegate the proving of who you are, the establishment of that identity, if you can delegate that to somebody else and you just take in whatever that identity is that those websites are telling you, that's it. No username password. You've completely bypassed the whole problem of a username password, which would work well for your app actually, because if you're using a Gmail account, then all you have to do is say, okay, log in with Google. You get kicked over to Google, do your thing, kicks back to your app. When it kicks back to your app, is your email Brielle daily? Is your email Brielle daily? If so, cool. Here's the admin page. If not, sorry, 401. Yes, that is the magic. It's the establishing of a Postgres connection string to
so I'll post that in the student code, and then if you have any comments for them, can you just add it in?
For sure. And I think we'll go over that here too in a sec.
Okay. Now you were just talking about the password thing. When I do
it, I know you're interested in that.
I am, but I don't think it'll work for mine because I have a subscribe field in the unsubscribe. I think it's like different. But my question was, when I do it with GitHub, it usually just says, do you verify this? Like it has a bunch of gobbledygook, like look at all this stuff. And then I literally just click one button and I get an email confirmation. Is that the same as what you were just describing? Because it sounded like
That's exactly the same.
Okay.
There's a name for it, and we'll go through that. But most every website offers that, especially the ones where, like GitHub, for example, when you create an account there, you give them a username and password. So they already have a username and password for that account. If you want to let people sign in with GitHub, then let GitHub take care of managing usernames and passwords and all that hard stuff. Just look for their identity. Well, I'm jumping ahead though. We'll get into that. I'm so excited to talk about that this week. Anything else? Otherwise, we're going to jump into some database stuff. All right. So I think, Kyle, you're probably the closest to needing the database connection. So do you want to share your screen really quick and we'll go through?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up. I wanted to commit my changes to GitHub first, and then and I got the what is it called, the port, to be.
Oh, nice.
I made the change to port so that it could use either one. So
Great. Fobelia, did you get a front end deploy? Did it complete? And
Yeah, it looks like it did complete. It finally downloaded all of the images.
did you get a link? Were you able to go see it?
Let me see.
So in the terminal, there's like 2 links that it spits out at the end. One's like a Git link, Git Heroku, Git something. Another one is it probably will say like fobelia-frontend.herokuapp.com.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, let's do that really quick.
Okay. Let me go back to here.
Give Kyle a second to grab.
Okay.
So that terminal window. Yeah.
Okay.
See how it gives you 2 links? There's the last one, which is like a git.heroku.com. Ignore that. That's not the one we care about. It's the one right above it where it says fobelia-frontend.heroku app. See that one up above? Yep.
Okay, this one.
That
it
one.
Says heroku.com/space deployed to Heroku. Yes.
Grab that link and throw that in the browser. So the
grab the entire link?
Nope, just the HTTPS up to the .com.
Oh, okay. Up to the .com. And I don't need the slash or
it doesn't matter. It's
okay.
Either one will work.
And in a browser. Oops. I'm going to use a different browser. Okay. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Ah.
Congratulations.
Well, cool. Thank you.
So again, if you want to make changes, git commit, git push. That's it.
Okay, so anytime I want to just look at this, I'll just pop in that address. Okay, cool. Thank you.
That's your deployed front end. Yep.
That is so cool.
Wait, did you get a Namecheap? Did you buy an address?
Yes, I did.
Okay. We should hook that up so you can go to that address that it takes you here.
Okay. And I just click off of that, Okay.
So let's actually just do that really quick because we got plenty of time. Open up a browser and go sign into Namecheap really quick. While we're
Okay.
here, I'm going to point out some things to other folks. Just fun little tidbits about Namecheap. Yep, Namecheap.com. Yep. For the other folks that are following along, I want everybody to pop open Namecheap, and I really want us all to enable multi-factor authentication here, because if you don't have MFA enabled for Namecheap, you're running a real scary risk of folks being able to get into your account and hijack what your domain is pointed to. So, Fabelia, if you want to click on sign in.
Okay. Let me see if I can open this up a little bit so I can see. And sign in is right over here. And username.
Oh man, we're just putting you under the gun multiple times today.
I hate this thing today. Okay. I got my cheat notes over here though. I'm not quite sure if I use my email address as my sign in or.
It's not. It's a username that they make you put in.
Okay. Okay. Mine would be, guess that would be my username.
Okay.
Or would it be longer than that? Because I do have one that says missfo.github.io.
Now that's your GitHub pages.
Okay.
Let's try this for your username and see if it works.
Okay. Let's keep our fingers crossed on the password. Okay, so that is my username and the password is.
Don't tell us.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you are so lucky today. I don't think I've seen a single failure. Wow. Okay. Let's click on domain list.
Okay.
Okay. Let's click on manage. So
Manage.
that fsbarrettwin.com. Let's click on manage over to the right of that.
Over
all the way to the right.
Right. Let me get rid of my little window here. Okay.
Nice. Okay. And then there's the domain tab that you're currently on. Click on advanced DNS.
Advanced DNS.
Okay. So now we need to create a DNS record to send folks to your Heroku. So if you scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So see how it has a parking page.namecheap.com entry there? A CNAME record with. So this is their fun little deal that they put on every domain. I think after a while they'll start selling ads. So what we want to do is we want to hit the garbage can to the right. I want to hit the garbage can on this one. We want to hit the garbage can on the other one as well.
So both of them hit the trash?
Yeah, we want to get rid of both of them.
Okay, so get rid of that one and delete, yes. And get rid of that one.
I don't have those.
Yes.
You shouldn't. We don't want those. All right. So now go and click add new record. And the type of record, just keep going down. We're going to go and click on the alias record. So see how it made a, nope, sorry, not scrolling in the window, but see in that drop down. Yep,
right
grab the
there.
alias record. Yep.
Okay.
And then in the host box for this record, see where it says has host grayed out? Yep, right there.
Okay.
Click and then type in the @ sign.
Type in the
symbol, the @ sign.
Oh, okay.
Shift 2.
Oops.
Back up.
Back up to here.
Nope. And you've got on your keyboard, press the backspace key.
Oh, okay. Backspace. Whoops.
Keep going. Yep, there we go. Okay, now on your keyboard, hit Shift 2.
Shift and 2. Okay, Shift and 2.
There we go. The @ sign. All right.
Oh, okay.
Leave this open. Open up another tab.
Okay.
Let's go to Heroku really quick.
Roku.com.
That dashboard link actually. Yeah, that. Here we go. All right, click on the
Okay.
Mobilia front end app. So we're gonna go find the details. Yep, we're gonna go find the details for this. Hit settings.
Settings, and settings is right up.
Yep,
there.
exactly. Nice. All right, scroll down. There's a section in here about domain names in your settings. So keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Okay.
Domains, there we go. Here's the domains
Oh,
block.
I see it.
See where it says add domain in purple over on the right? Click
Yes.
that button.
Oops.
All right. Now, here in this box where it says domain name yourdomain.com, click in there and let's put your domain that you have over in Namecheap. Let's put that in there.
Okay, that would be domain
You
name.
can click, if you want to click on the other tab, it's got it over there. You can copy and paste it.
Click over onto this
Yeah, let's
tab.
go back to Namecheap, and then if you scroll up to the top, it should. Yeah, there it is. fsbarrettwin.com.
Oh, I don't see any.
It's right here in
Oh.
the middle of. Yep. Yeah, let's just grab that.
Okay. Whoops. Get off of there. And then click back to here. Then click back to here. Then paste.
Perfect. All right, let's hit next. So we don't need to do anything with the SSL cert. Just hit next.
Okay, just next, and that's right there. Oh,
Yeah, you're hitting what everybody else did. So we need to add a credit card in order to verify. So hit X, close this little cancel, whatever. Just
okay.
click out of here. And then scroll up to the top.
Just so you know, when I added my website and I had to add the credit card, I did see the other day there was a 73-cent charge from Heroku.
Really?
I don't know if it was because I added Postgres or because I had something running briefly, but it was only 73 cents.
Okay.
But it did charge my credit card after I put it in.
Are you
Wow.
sure it didn't get reimbursed as well?
I was gonna say, I wonder if it's just testing, like they like to make sure it's a
That's
valid
true.
credit card. It may take that 73 cents off again in a few days or something.
Yeah.
That's true.
AWS does the same thing. It charges you a dollar, and then it reimburses you the dollar.
Okay.
Either way, if you at the very top right of the screen, there's a little picture of a person, and it's in a circle. See that?
Right
Yep.
there.
Click there, and then account settings
Okay.
and billing.
Billing.
Billing tab is up at the top.
Oh, okay. Right there.
So we'll leave you to this section.
Okay. So here's where I pull out the credit card.
Yeah, so you'd click on that add credit card and follow the steps, and
Okay.
and then just let us know when you're done, and we'll get that Namecheap.
Will do. I'll
Cool.
be back.
What a
mine
kind of
has a
scummy
couple-
thing though. Like it's
mine,
free, but put in your credit card just to make it real easy to buy some stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
my Namecheap already has 2 records in there. It has one with the @ symbol and another one with www. It says CNAME record, and they both are connected to my GitHub.
Yeah, so we're
So-
going to probably take over, and I mean, you guys love GitHub pages, and I get it, but for the demo, I want you guys to use Heroku to
No,
show off
I
your
don't
tax
want to
zones.
connect this one to my, I mean, I'm going to get another Namecheap or some other domain that says
Okay.
like Documentary Syracuse or something like that. Like I want my, my name website to be like a portfolio or whatever. So I'm going to leave that there. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know. I already paid for it for a year, so I'm not gonna. Oh no, wait. GitHub was free, isn't it? Yeah.
The domain is what you pay a year for.
Right.
Did you guys see what I was talking about, multi-factor authentication? Let me share on my screen real quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is just a really good thing to have, and for some reason, Namecheap does this really well. So if we go to Namecheap, I want everybody else to do this. This is a really good idea. Because here's the thing that we're trying to prevent. If you don't add multi-factor authentication to your Namecheap account and somebody gets in, either because you don't have a great password or they're able to reset it because they get access to your email account or something like that. If they are able to log in, if someone is able to log in, they can change where your domain is pointing, which is bad because if you're selling something, then all of a sudden your customers will get redirected to whatever their website is. And it will look like it's coming from you. It will look like it's your website because they have control of the domain name. So do not forget to come in here and set up multi-factor authentication. And you can see on my screen when I'm logging in, it's forcing me to enter in a one-time password code. And that's what I'm talking about. We want to enable that. So if you go to, let's see, you go to account. Yeah, account, profile.
Nathan, I went to my dashboard and there's a big thing there that just says recommended due to FA authentication. I wonder.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, if that's, oh yeah, here, up here at the top two, there's a little two-factor authentication, and you can click manage and it will give you, oh cool, they have a hardware version? I'm gonna use that. All right, here we go. Here we go. Ah, awesome. Okay. Yeah, text message authentication you should try to steer away from. If you've got a phone app like Google Authenticator or Authy or some kind of phone-based one-time password program, definitely use that. Does anybody have any questions about using two-factor? I feel like most folks have probably.
Yeah, this is Latonya. So I'm familiar with it, but just what does the device? I don't think I've ever used that version of it. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Let me show you folks. So in addition to phone-based one-time passwords, in addition to having them send a code to your smartphone and then you put the code in, there's even a more secure version of doing this. And I'm just trying to find it because I've got one. Even a more secure version of doing it where you buy something that looks like this. So have you guys ever seen a YubiKey before? So this is a little piece that Dominic, you've seen one of these before. So this is what I use for sites that let me. And it's just a little USB dongle. You plug it into your computer, and whenever a site asks you to log in, you can just press that dongle really quick and it will do the login for you. It's more secure than the phone. It's more secure. Obviously, it's more secure than the text messages. And it's also way more convenient because if you leave it plugged into your Mac, you could just hit it really quick as opposed to going and digging up Google Authenticator, copy, paste.
So if we don't have a YubiKey, we need to set this up?
If you don't have you don't need to use a YubiKey if you don't want to. Definitely use Google Authenticator if you've got it.
Okay.
Yeah. But these, you can get these on Amazon. They're called YubiKeys, and they're really handy dandy. Oh, I've got one here. So I just keep one on my keychain too. So if I'm away from the house, I can just plug it into. The reason why it's more secure is because the one-time passwords are 6-digit. The YubiKeys are like 22 characters. So that includes all the alphanumeric. So they're just a little bit more secure, but you got to be like pretty paranoid, I think, in order to use those.
So I'm familiar with the two-factor authentication, like as a user, but not as an administrator, I guess you'd call it. So I have to install Google Authenticator on my phone. Is that like, I'm not familiar with any of those apps. Is that the one you would recommend, or?
I actually don't like Google Authenticator as much. I really like Authy. Authy has a phone app and it has a desktop app. So if you're away from your phone, you can look at it on your desktop and it keeps all of it synced up. It's I think it's owned by Twilio, but definitely check out Authy. I like Authy a little bit more than Authenticator, but
Thanks. I probably would have gone with Google because I have an Android phone, but that's cool to have a desktop app too. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Authy is just slightly better, but honestly, you can't go wrong with either. The big drawback for me though with Authenticator is that it used to be that you couldn't, like if your phone broke, you're basically screwed because everything was kept on that phone. You could transfer your one-time passwords to like another phone or your desktop or something. I think they've changed that. I think it now syncs in the cloud and you can move between phones if one of your phones breaks. But anyways, enable MFA for Namecheap. That's super important. Definitely enable MFA for Heroku because it's the same sort of thing. If hackers get access to your Heroku, then they can push up their own code, and all of a sudden it's just like having access to the domain name. They can push whatever malicious code they want up, which, like Latonia, for your website, for example, you have a lot of media. You have a lot of MP4s. For folks that have websites where they're downloading a lot of content into the browser, dude, that would be such an amazing target for a hacker because you have all the stuff that you're downloading through the browser. So definitely enable MFA for those two things. And in fact, any website that you could put MFA on that says, we support MFA, definitely go for it. All right, where are we? Go ahead.
I just had one other question. So at the beginning of this course, when we were downloading ridiculous amounts of things onto our computer to set up the dev environments and all that, they had us set up Bitwarden for security at one point, and then they never really followed up with it.
Yeah.
And you're making faces. Okay, so I should just probably get rid of that.
I've
never used it, but
can I give a sales pitch? Do you guys have time for me to give my sales pitch? All right.
Yes.
So Bitwarden is free, and that's awesome. For $12 a year, I pay, I think $18 a year for a family plan because I've got everybody in my house using the same password manager. If you could throw down $24 a year for security, which I think is a paltry sum to pay for folks being safe, especially if you use the same password on multiple websites. Hear me out, because you have got to stop doing that. So there's a program called 1Password. I get that Bitwarden's free. I get that you might want to have something open source that I get it, but don't use it. If you really need a password manager, use 1Password. And the reason why is because their app is fantastic. So you guys might have been seeing on my screen when I was logging into stuff. So let me sign out of Namecheap. I haven't entered in a single password once in the weeks that you guys have seen me. And the reason why is because 1Password just fills them out for me. So I just click in here and I hit a shortcut on my keyboard, which for 1Password, the shortcut to enter in passwords is Command-Shift-X. And then this box pops up and it has all of my credentials for logging into Namecheap. All I do is I hit enter. I don't even know what my password is to Namecheap. 1Password just generates secure passwords for me and puts them in.
So you would probably really cringe if some passwords were saved to Google Chrome for automatically logging in.
Oh, 100%. And you know the reason why is because it's saved in plain text on your computer. So if someone gets access to your computer, I could find all of your passwords. Yeah. I might be lying to you. It may not be in plain text, but if someone, so let's say you're working on your MacBook, you're logged into Chrome, you save all your passwords. This goes for Safari, Firefox, all of those built-in password managers for browsers. If you're logged in, and let's say you step away to go use to make a cup of coffee or something. If someone gets to your computer and you're currently signed in, they could go into the settings in your browser, look at your passwords, pull out their phone, take a screenshot, and then walk away with all your passwords. 1Password is the way to go. Dude, once you get on 1Password, it takes it honestly, it took me, like you're saying, it took me like a weekend to get everything moved over into it. But once you do, it changes your life. Like you never have to think about passwords again. You have 1Password that unlocks 1Password. So you have 1Password you need to remember, but then everything else is managed by 1Password. So it's always a strong random password that 1Password will generate for you. I would strongly encourage folks to check that out. And the other really cool thing is, like, my wife, we share a bunch of passwords for things like utilities and banking accounts and all that. With 1Password, you could set up some of your passwords to be shared between family members. So she can share the login to the car payment with me, and I can just go into 1Password, and now I can get in there as well. 1Password also does one-time passwords as well. So you don't need Google Authenticator or Authy. It will manage it all inside the app. It's a bit, yeah, it's like a weekend of consolidation, but once you've paid that time, it comes back at you in a big way. I used to think password managers were the devil and I maintained my own stuff, but like, it was stupid. This is the way to go.
I don't know, this might sound like a stupid question, but those things on the surface have always seemed very unsafe to me, because all people have to do is get a hold of 1Password and then they have like all your passwords. So it's like it seems like it's making all your passwords less secure to me, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Totally. And I had the same reservations too when I was getting started with it, but it's much more secure than you think. And I also talked to the teams that work at 1Password. They were at a conference that I went to, and I asked them a bunch of security related questions, and they are serious business about their security. And I make it sound really simple, and they do their best to make working with passwords really simple. But there's a lot of setup that you have to go through to securely set up 1Password. You actually have 2 keys. I make it sound really easy, and it is really easy 99% of the time, but it is extremely secure, and they are held to some seriously high standards in order to maintain security, because you're right, you're putting all of your eggs in one basket. But so is, it's no excuse like to also just like shove all your passwords in Google Chrome, or even worse, to use like the same password for a bunch of websites. It's kind of like the lesser of 2 evils, honestly. And I would definitely not call 1Password the lesser of 2 evils, but you know, can you generate passwords as random as what 1Password can with a keyboard and just like your hand? No, you can't. So I promise, whatever you're doing now is not as secure as what 1Password would do. So it would be a major step up.
And we probably just need to create a password that's like 5 words long. And then it's too long for it to automatically guess, right? The computer generated cryptography.
Yeah, and here's the thing, the password that you enter to unlock one password is only one of two passwords. So one password will generate it's not a password necessarily, it's a key, and it's a really long random key. When you're setting up a computer for the first time, you put in that key that they give you, and it's really long and it's super secure. After you've done that initialization, this is what I'm talking about with that setup taking a while. After you've done that initialization, your computer is authorized, and all you need to do is enter that one password that we're talking about, that one 5-word long password that you remember. So you've kind of got both. You initialize computers, you authorize computers to use one password, and then after that, all you need to remember is the one password to unlock it. And if you're using Mac, you don't even have to remember that password. It will integrate with the Touch ID. So you could just put your finger on it and it'll unlock your whole vault for you. It's slick. I mean, Bitwarden ain't got nothing on 1Pass. So
If you teach for the next cohort, you should get in for a day or two at the beginning when they're setting all that up with the passwords and make your pitch for the one password instead of Bitwarden.
yeah, right now my pitch for next cohort is let's use Git a little bit earlier on, and let's use one password. Totally. Are we ready to do some database stuff?
I was trying to deploy and it's giving me an error. So
right.
I'm not even at the database part yet.
Do you want to share your screen?
Fatal Heroku does not appear to be a Git repository.
You want to share your screen really quick?
Typing what you put here, git push Heroku main. Yep, hold on.
Failed to push some refs. Master does not match any. Oh, you tried main.
Yeah, it's because I tried master. I thought I tried it after main didn't work. I thought, oh, maybe this is one of those that's master. Then I did git status again, and then I did
Git status again for me. Just
main. Here we go. So this is the one that didn't work. The most recent one that didn't work.
Okay.
I can do it again.
Yeah, let's see what git status does.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so you're in, let's do a git remote --v. Let's make sure you still have the remote installed.
Is that right?
--v, yep. All right, so see how you only have a remote set up for origin? Origin means GitHub.
Okay, I was just going through the slides. Okay.
So we need to add a remote.
Slides to remote. You can probably just tell me quicker than I can find it in the slides.
Well, even easier than the slides, if you go to Heroku.
It was
something kind of like that, but it's not actually a git command, although Heroku is doing git stuff behind the scenes. If you go to Heroku, because we're going to need this anyways, if you go to Heroku, it opens up.
Yeah, I do have it open. Hold on. Get back to the back end on this. Oh, doesn't matter. All right.
Click on the deploy tab. And then down in the instructions, see the, click up. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Heroku git, no, that's not it. Scroll up. What's this? Click on the connect to GitHub tab on the deployment method. Oh, weird. Yeah, let's use the slides. This is weird. The instructions have changed on us for some reason.
Okay, I got a little lost here.
Yep, so that last command right there, Heroku git remote -a.
All right, I'm gonna type that because I want to try to remember. That's probably why I didn't remember it, because I didn't. So get.
Yep. And then every Heroku command takes the -a, right? Which is your back end, whatever it's called in Heroku.
Right, and that's what I have to check. Oh wait, I'm in the web store. That's the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's probably why the instructions changed, is because it had a deploy already. So it was like,
Yeah.
you don't need those instructions again because you should have the remote set up.
Mhm.
Nice. All right, now your git push should
Where I'm
work.
supposed to be. All right. Oops. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Cool.
Backends are easy because you don't have to upload a build pack; just automatically starts running. So yeah, this should give you build
I
succeed.
have to connect the
Pressing.
database.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
So do you have an endpoint we could test hitting? Excuse me.
Yeah. So this is set up to go locally. Oh wait.
So you're
Oh, well,
there's
that,
a
yeah, because I
/
took it
sites.
down to change the, yeah, but that should work if the backend was up. So, but I'm gonna have to change this to,
You can click on open app and it will
okay,
give you that link. There it is.
excellent.
At root, it says hello world. That's cool.
That's what he has us do. Yeah, he's been, Max had us doing, yeah. Whoops. There we go.
No, you had it. Back, undo.
Oh, it was just delayed because of Zoom.
Nice.
All right, let's try that again.
This is gonna definitely die. So let's look at the process of the death of a Node.js application. Let's go back to Heroku. Why is this dying? We don't really know because, in fact, okay, let me back up. We don't even know that it died. All we know is that Postman is taking a really long time to send us a response.
Right, but this is, I mean, it's up.
Well, refresh this page.
What?
Refresh. Oh, wow. All right. So yeah,
The
I was wrong.
database is not up though.
Right, I was wrong. This endpoint is still alive and kicking, and the other endpoint. So is Postman returned yet? Is Postman actually
How would
gonna?
it return if the database is, yeah, how would it return if the database isn't in Heroku? The database is on my computer.
Right. So you got what, a 503?
Mhm.
Okay. This was odd. I would have expected Node to keel over. I'm surprised that you even got, if you go back to the browser, I'm surprised that you even got this endpoint to return.
Really?
Refresh again. Is it still alive?
But I feel
Wow,
like we
okay.
did something to connect the database, didn't we, when we were doing these in class?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Most students, their code that I've seen, the database connection occurs at the startup of the app. And if it can't connect, Node should die. Like, because connecting to the DB is a prerequisite to running the rest of the code. And if it can't connect to the DB, I would have assumed that your app wouldn't have continued to run. But for some reason, your app does continue to run. And it's proven here because this endpoint is alive and well. And part of your Node.js program is still running. So let's go look at the code. I'm curious to see how you set up the DB connection. So let's go down. Yeah, so here is where you do the DB authenticate. Where do you create the DB object? Is there a db.js somewhere?
Yeah, that's what I'm in.
Oh, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
See, if you scroll up to where that DB equals new sequelize, this is where I would have assumed the program would crash. Because I was thinking that line 2 would fail and then none of the rest of the code in here would run. And maybe that's actually true. Where is the endpoint?
Oh, do I need
if
to
you click-
change this? I need to change this. That's not the
But-
correct
but-
address anymore. I need to put the Heroku address, but because it's the old address, maybe it's connecting. No, because
No, I can. Yeah.
I don't know.
Go to server.js really quick.
Server.js.
Okay, this isn't. Oh, yep. Keep going up. There it is. So there's the endpoint for. Boy, this is weird. And this just highlights my. Yeah, this is weird. All right. Yeah, we need to hook it up to the database. I'm just trying to understand how it is that you're doing an import on line 7 to bring in the DB, which should cause the DB to initialize. If we both agree, it ain't gonna initialize because it's talking to a local Postgres, and that's not the Postgres that's up there. So I'm trying to understand how line 7 can execute and crash, because DB ain't gonna be initializing. How it can crash and then code on line 9 through 11 can still be executed. That part, I don't know enough about Node.js to. All right, so let's connect to the DB anyway. So go into db.js. All right. So yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to do something different. And the way that we're going to do something different is we're going to pass in. Well, we have 2 ways we could do this. We can.
I need to put that code in there, like the web address, right?
Yep. Yep, exactly. So if you go look at the student pasted code, I think Latonia put in a block that'll help you here.
Okay.
I want you to just paste it in there for now, and then we'll talk about what it's doing.
Okay. I don't need to require SQLize because I've already got that part, right?
Yep.
It's just. All right, so.
All right, so what is line 4 doing?
If there's no database URL, then use the local.
No. Line 4. What is line 4 doing?
Oh, creating an environmental variable, or is it variable? Is that the right word? Yeah.
Is it creating one?
Or letting it access one when you, let's see.
Yeah. So it's reading it from the environment. So if there is a database URL environment variable declared, so if there's an environment variable called database URL, if that's present, if it's being set in the environment where your node program is running, that database URL, that process.m.database URL, will contain a string to the database URL. So Heroku will supply the URL, the connection string that you need to make.
Right, okay.
So what we're doing is on line 4, we're looking to see, is there a database URL in the environment?
Yeah, it was similar to what we just did with the port. If there's no
Exactly.
port, then, yeah.
Yeah, this is the
I need to
exact
put
same
this
logic.
here. All right.
Yep, exactly.
Is that got a return in there that shouldn't be there? No, it's just really long. Okay. Just not used to this small screen. All right, and then I can take this out, right?
Wait, after line 6 and 7, after that executes, what are you left with? What do you have? So what is line
Add
4
Heroku.
and 7 producing? What are you getting after line 4 and 7 is done?
Connection to the local database if there wasn't one. I mean, if there wasn't a remote.
Keep going. When you say connection, what data type is that? What is that connection? What is the kind of data that represents?
The kind of data?
So see on line 6, we're storing into the box DB URL a string.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. All right.
So after we get done with line 7, we've got a box called DB URL, and it's going to hold a string in it. and that string can either represent a connection to Heroku because we got it from the environment, or
Right.
it holds a connection string to your local host because we didn't find an environment variable. So after line
But
7,
you've got
all we
new
have is a
equalize
string.
here, so that replaces this. So I
Yep,
still think
exactly.
we can take it out.
So you could chop off line 2 completely because
That's what I
line
just
9.
had said, yeah.
Mhm.
The only thing I want maybe is the logging false. Yeah,
Perfect.
all right. Okay,
There we go. Now you have a DB object that you can do normal SQL stuff
now
with.
save. But now I have to deploy, or not, I have to push this again, right?
Correct.
Great, so. Where's my terminal? Why is it? I don't know what happened to my terminal here.
It's no worries. You just got done with a week of the DevOps module. You know that you can open the Mac OS terminal. Oh,
So
dang.
that's
Okay.
true. But I just don't know what, I don't know if I should kill that one or it was weird. It's just like there's nothing there.
I don't know.
Anyway, okay. So
Let's
start
run a
with get
freebie.
commit,
Let's
right?
hang on. Let's do a freebie because
Mhm.
we always want to just double check really quick what Git's doing. So let's do a freebie. Let's see. So it thinks we've changed models DB. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all we
that's what
changed.
we're
Cool.
in. Yep.
Okay.
So I've been doing these individually so much, it's just going to be easier for me to do it this way. Sorry.
Okay.
I forgot the other way. And then, what did I
Nice. Good catch.
added,
Yeah. Because if you had
um,
put an A in there, then it would have just grabbed everything anyways, and your ad would have been irrelevant.
that's what I was
Good
trying
catch.
to remember anyways. And I was like, I've only got one file. I'm just going to do the one file because I couldn't remember that. You just do the one command. It's just get commit AM, negative AM.
Mhm. If you wanted to grab everything, and the reason why git commit AM would have been appropriate here is because you just ran git status. You confirmed that no other files had been accidentally changed or modified. So
Right.
to git add after you know what is there,
Okay.
it's either way. Like you do you, but
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to call this what, added database, remote database connection.
Yep, that sounds right.
My keyboard will catch up with my. Oh no, I was just in the wrong. Okay. Remote. And then I can do.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It helps if you keep them both in sync. And you're right, the order of operations there: GitHub first, Heroku second. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much for showing me how to do the individual ones like that. I've been doing that all weekend and it's been very helpful.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and hit that Postman and see.
Postman.
I mean, Heroku is a little slow, so it may take it a second to finish up with the deploy, but we'll see. It might as well.
I thought we did something on the Heroku website also before, like in here. Didn't you
Yeah. So
select something or?
did you you added the Heroku add-on, right?
That must have been what it was. Okay.
Yeah, I think if you
That
go to
under
resources,
settings, maybe?
it's under resources.
Okay.
As long as you got a little, oh, that's what we're missing. Go into the quickly add-on in that search bar, type in Postgres. Yep, click that. So this is going to spin up Postgres for you. Yep.
Okay.
All right. We may need to redeploy. We'll find out though. In the more box, can you go ahead and give us some logs? I just want to see what Heroku thinks is going on. See, here's where it. So we've got an exception up there from. Oh, that was just now. Yeah, so let's do this really quick. Go back in your terminal and let's make a commit.
Back to the terminal. Okay.
I'm going to show you, this is a bonus for folks that just wanted something extra to shove in their heads. You can make a commit without changing anything. I know this is counterintuitive to what I've said before, where commits represent changes that you bundle up. But if you have a situation like this where you don't really need to change anything, but you just want to make a commit, you could say git commit space -- allow - empty
The space again between allow?
- empty.
Right. Do I want a space before empty?
Nope.
Okay.
This is all one flag. Okay.
Or the dash is what I meant. Okay.
Git commit -- allow - empty. Now another space, and then you could say -m to give it a message, and then this is your normal.
So,
Bumping deployment, redeploying.
Redeploy after Heroku
Enabling
database
Heroku.
add-on or something?
Yeah.
DB or Postgres. That would make more sense.
Yep. So you didn't change anything, but if you pass that flag,
I
it will
forgot.
let you. What?
Okay, no, it worked. Okay.
Yep. No -a. You don't need to do a git add because this is just creating an empty commit. That's it. So
It
now
just
you can do
doesn't
your
give you as many lines back when you didn't change anything, I guess. That's why it looked
Right.
like strange to me.
Right. Exactly. There was nothing changed, so it's pretty small. All right. Let's do a push. Yeah, this is just gonna redeploy, and hopefully this will cause it to show up.
Yeah, I wasn't going by the slides, so I think I skipped the part on the Heroku website that was in the slides.
Oh, that's fine.
Because it was in a different order in the slides.
Let's open up the, yep, let's see what the logs are doing. Have we finished deploy yet? Nope, there's an error. Okay, scroll up. No PG HBA conf SSL is off. Okay, so that SSL off means that we haven't finished Latonia's instructions correctly. So let's go back to the code for server for db.js. All right, so the code that you posted, let's see.
What's the difference between dialect and protocol? I'm just curious.
Latonia, we're missing an SSL block. Do you remember writing that with me yesterday?
Oh, that's in the package JSON, isn't it?
No, it's in.
We had to do that engine thing.
No, it's
Slides.
different. It
Okay.
goes. Do you know what I'm talking about, Latonia?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember. You said SSL block?
Yes, I
Yeah,
didn't
there was an.
Let me check real quick. This is the DB file, right?
This is db.js, yeah.
I thought we, you know what we did? We commented it out. That's why I took it out. I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
Well, we definitely need that block because the error that Kyle is getting is because the SSL
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? It was commented out because I did more with my code and I needed to comment it out for something else. Here it is.
Oh, does it not work for local?
It doesn't. I had to take it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Then we need to change our code up a little bit, because maybe instead of just changing the DB URL based off the environment variable, maybe we should just form the options that get passed in.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, because
Yeah, we should do that.
okay. So I put that in, so she'll have it. It just goes over. It's like the end before the closing curly and paren. But yeah, Nathan, if you have time, that'd be great.
Yeah, we got to run through it here anyways to get Kyle
Am
set
I
up.
doing
Okay.
this right with the engine thing? Because I had not done that before. Maybe
No,
that's-
it doesn't go in the dependencies block. It's a sibling to all the other top level key values.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually surprised though. We made a deploy without specifying the engines block. That's new to me. So scroll to the
Here.
very bottom. Scroll to the very bottom of the file. And then not the last curly brace, but the
Oh,
second
I
to the
see.
last.
Here. Okay.
Mhm. It's a sibling. Yep. Nice. All right.
Okay.
Apparently this isn't necessary, but it's nice to specify exactly what node version you want to run on.
Okay.
All right, let's go back into db.js. We need to make a change there really quick. Okay, so there is a block that we need to be able to verify SSL. Heroku uses SSL for all of its DB connections.
Mhm.
And the
Oh,
SSL options need to be passed in if you're running on Heroku. They don't work if you're running locally. So that
Okay.
extra block that's in the student pasted code, if you can paste that in, yep,
Underneath? Okay.
yep, it's a sibling, yep. That reject unauthorized, that is a very important, that's what's gonna solve the bug here.
Yeah. Oh, this is. All right.
Nice, okay. But dialect options,
Yeah.
that whole clause right there, line 12 through 17, we need that additional configuration for Heroku. We don't want it for localhost.
Okay. So we have to put that in an if else.
So we have two options here. We can either create a new box to hold dialect options, and then we can, based on whether we got the environment variable or not, we can fill the dialect options in. I'm wondering if we want to just do something easier here, and instead, let's create a DB connection inside of the if-else blocks. So if we get a environment variable, we'll initialize the whole SQLized driver. If we don't get an environment variable, we'll initialize a different DB driver. So they'll both have two separate sets of options, depending on whether we got a DB URL. Depending on whether we're on Heroku, that's what this boils down to, is we're hinging off of what Heroku has. So,
Okay, but we're still only going to have one variable name called DB.
yes, exactly. I think that's what we want to. What we want to do.
I'm just trying to think how you do that without creating two.
I'll show you. So if you scroll up to the top where we declare the const DB URL, so a little further up.
Okay.
Okay. So say
no, further down. Yeah. Okay. Here.
no. Let's do it up on line 2. Actually, let's go and create a box called DB. So let's make a let DB.
Okay.
And then semicolon. This is just going to be empty.
Oh, okay.
And then based on what we get from the process environment variable, we'll hydrate that box with the right DB.
So we're going to get rid of const there.
So let's talk about line 7. So if we don't get a DB URL, this is where we form this whole string.
Right.
Let's not. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And then we put the whole thing without the dialect options?
Without the dialect options, correct. Yep. So this is going to be our driver if we aren't running on Heroku. Perfect. Yeah, you're 10 steps ahead of me. You already Already know where we're going. And then I think it's mad because
I've got
line
some
12.
extra.
No, line 12. The extra brace there. Yep, that's the one kill.
All right.
And then now look at the DB URL equals Postgres on line 7.
All these are not the indenting is different than mine. I'm getting confused as to what curly brace goes with that thing. All right.
And then line 8, we're doing a double assignment to the DB box.
Line 8. Oh, okay, because I copied and pasted too much.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to me about line 7 and the start of line 8. Do you see a little optimization, a little tweak we can do right there?
Can we put the URL in here?
Yeah, we don't really need the box. We can just shove it straight in because this is a DB URL just for this one driver. Perfect. Yeah, we can just directly create it. Cool. Okay, now.
But then
Will
this
this
needs to
code
be in
work?
the else, right?
Yeah, good catch. Good catch. Good catch. Because if you didn't put in the else, you would initialize the first driver and then you'd overwrite it with
Right. No,
another
I was
driver.
just thinking about how to reorganize that because I knew that was wrong. Yeah.
Great catch. Perfect. This is exactly what we need. So we're just making 2 different drivers based on whether we got the Heroku environment variable or not.
Cool.
I think this is.
All right, yeah, I'm just looking at it all through again. All right, cool.
Could we change line 13, the DB URL? Could we change that to?
Oh yeah, right.
We could, but hang on.
It'll break.
Does it? Do we need to though? No, not really. It's fine just the way it is. It's fine just the way it is. Just saying we could if we so desired, but I don't think it's going to make the code any clearer. So let's just leave this as is. Let's push. Let's commit.
And get status, like you said, because I changed the package JSON too. So
Cool.
I'm gonna put added.
But Kyle, this is where you could most safely use git commit AM because you just looked at git status. You know what all the changes are. So this.
Yeah, but I want to say that I put the I specified the node version in the package JSON, and then the other one is going to say that
you're going to make a commit for each file change.
That's what I've been doing, so that I know.
Oh, I guess more power to you.
Because then I end up with mile-long comments, and you're limited to 50 characters. So it's just more organized. I don't know.
No, you're not limited to 50 characters. If you need more than 50 characters, then I will show you how to do that. So please don't make a commit for each file. Just do a git commit.
I mean, sometimes it makes sense to group them. You know, I might have 2 or 3 files that I committed, together if I can make a comment that I was,
Sure.
that's cohesive. But I've been liking, because in the interface,
okay, you do you. You do you.
Stuck with 50 characters, and I'm like spending 5 minutes trying to figure out what to put for a comment. It's easier just to do them separately. Anyway.
You do you. I'll let you do it. There are no rules. You can do git however you want.
All right, so this would be I just go straight to commit if I do it that way, and then I put AM.
Yep.
And
added engines, updated drivers.
Node version. Okay. I don't know if I would know what engines were if I added node version to, I can abbreviate it here. And how am I going to describe this?
Updated database drivers.
Okay. Yeah, I would have said ability to switch between the two local and remote database, I guess. Enabled both local and remote DB connections. All right, is that too long?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, except I got a weird parenthesis in there. I messed something up. Wait a minute. Is that just a weird thing
Yeah.
on my screen?
Just hit enter. Just hit enter.
Okay.
There we go. So added Node version to package JSON enabled. It's okay.
Yeah, that's weird. My
okay.
screen was doing weird stuff. All right.
All right, let's do push.
All right. I literally half my comment disappeared. It had like a parenthesis there. I don't know if it looked the same on yours. Git push origin.
Okay.
And then git push.
Cool.
Kyle, can you scroll up so I can see, or down so I think I have an extra curly brace.
Here?
Yep. Yes, thank you.
Isn't your backend public on GitHub?
Yes.
Okay. That might be a good link to post. It's like a link to your db.js in GitHub, so people can see this code and be able to.
Oh, for the class. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for the class. If you feel comfortable sharing your.
Yeah, no, that's
your work with
fine.
others. Cool. So we should how about this?
I was just letting
so-
Latonia fix whatever she needed to.
Oh, I got it. I just
Got it? Okay.
I asked Nathan just to look at it because something is off. I have a red squiggly, so something's not good. But thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so then I need to go back here and
It was
see.
dying on startup. So let's see, is it able to?
You want to go back to the logs or do you want me to try to do Postman? I don't know.
Logs right here. So let's take a look. So at 6:40, no, 17:06. So just now it went from starting to up. It has a good log about connecting to the database. It's running on the right port that Postgres or Heroku assigned it. Let's hit it. Let's hit Postman.
Yes.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Man, that's some good content that we built
Complicated
up.
than I thought it was going to be. Cool. I don't even have the real database information in there yet, but I got a good start. So at some point I could use help hiding my API key. I've not been able to get that working yet. I've kind of got it in there commented out, but
That is a good place for environment variables. So passing things in from the environment. We tried to cover a little bit of that in class, but you just kind of have to have an example to work on.
yeah.
So if you, okay, Latonia, do you want to quickly share your screen and we can see if we can figure out this issue?
Yes. And then if we have time, because I have my API in, but I need to hide my key also. So if not today, some other time. Can you see it okay?
Yep. Red squiggly is on what? Oh, so you need an extra curly brace. So on line 14, hit enter. Yep, right. Yep, you're right ahead of me. Go up and do a closing brace. Okay, so that closes that. Hit enter one more time.
Okay.
Another closed brace.
Oh, I missed a bunch of them. Okay. Oh,
There
so
we go.
now, okay, so now I just need to do my commits and okay, wonderful. Thank you. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
you're welcome.
I tried to find it.
We actually just talk for a minute about what this code does, like the what's
Share your
it,
screen.
dialect and protocol and the dialect options, just because I kind of pasted it without understanding it. So
Yeah, share your screen.
I don't know if you want me to share. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, I know what Postgres is, but I don't know what's the difference between dialect and a protocol. And then these are obviously options for that. So SSL is more secure. That's when it's HTTPS, right? It's a more secure. connection?
We'll talk about that more in the next module, but just because it's SSL doesn't mean that's communicating over HTTP. And the reason why is because think about the database. Does the database expose API endpoints?
No.
No, it communicates over port 5432 using a protocol that we don't, it's not HTTP. You don't send GET requests to the database, right? You
No.
log into it over a port and then you're speaking Postgres to it.
Right. Or SQLite is doing that for us. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But you can communicate over port 5432 securely using SSL. So it's not HTTPS because HTTPS is in the browser is using HTTP and SSL.
Yeah, I just had associated that. I think that it needs a certificate called that when you have an HTTPS website, which is why I had those two acronyms associated, but I don't even, I'm assuming that stands for security. But I don't really even know what it stands for. So we'll cover it next week. That's cool.
We'll talk about it more, but you can have SSL enabled on what's known as a TCP socket. And that's what Postgres exposes. It just gives you a socket 5432 and you can add encryption on top of it. And that's what SSL represents.
Okay.
Require true means that if the database that you're connecting to does not offer SSL, so it doesn't present a certificate for you to use for encryption, then your program's going to say, no. I need SSL. I want to have SSL, and it will fail. If that was false, then your program would, if the server offered SSL, it would connect using SSL. But if it didn't have it, if that flag was false, it would continue and say, okay, fine, I'll talk to an unencrypted, I'll talk over an unencrypted TCP socket.
So why do you have to have, it seems like those last two are kind of like require true. If it's required, then if it was false, it wouldn't go through. Why do you have the extra reject unauthorized labeled?
So that has to do with something we'll talk a little bit about more next week. But
more next week. Okay.
The gist of it is that certificates can be signed by a known authority. And a known authority would be something like VeriSign or Namecheap doesn't have the ability to do it, but some of the really big businesses, when you get a certificate, your certificate represents not only what your website is and what your data is and who you are and your presence and all of those things, but it also contains some information that proves that you got that certificate from a legitimate source, that it was issued to you from an accredited foundation through an accredited business, and that extra accreditation in your certificate means that it's authorized, means that it can be proven that this isn't a fraud or a fake, which is great for HTTPS because we want all of our sites to get a certificate from an accredited foundation, that sort of thing. But what is happening here is Heroku doesn't go through all those steps. It doesn't provide certificates that are accredited because that accreditation takes a bit of work. And the accreditation really only offers a couple things. And for you, the accreditation really isn't so important. What's really important is that you're talking to the database through encryption. So you have SSL, the server is going to give you a certificate, but that certificate doesn't have that extra accreditation for you to check. And that's not such a big deal in this situation. All right, so then the dialect and the protocol.
Yeah.
So SQLize doesn't just work with Postgres. I mean, you can speak Redshift, you could speak MySQL, you could speak, I think, did you guys use SQLize for MongoDB as well? No? Okay.
I don't know. We covered it so briefly.
see, I don't think MongoDB exposes a SQL-like, I'm not super familiar with Mongo, so don't quote me on it, but I don't think it exposes a SQL-like interface. But think of all the different variants of databases that are out there, all the open source ones. Postgres is just one of those. So if you wanted SQLize to talk to your favorite flavor of DB, that would be where it is. And dialect and protocol are kind of synonymous, except for Redshift, for example, is is a version of Postgres that has a bunch of stuff baked onto it. So people will make their own derivatives of different databases. So you may want to speak the Redshift protocol, but because Redshift is a derivative of Postgres, you may want to speak the protocol, but maybe you want to continue using the dialect of Postgres. So those two flags allow you to do, for us, we're speaking to Postgres using the dialect Postgres and the protocol Postgres. So that's why it's there. And then logging false, I think we don't log because I don't know how SQLize does things, but it may.
Yeah, no, that I
logging-
remember. It prints out everything you're doing in the terminal, and yeah, it's more difficult to scroll up and find things that you need to reference. So yeah,
I
we
don't
did
know
that.
if SQLize will actually print out what the raw statements are, but that would be a bad thing to have
No, it
in
doesn't.
production. It doesn't?
It prints something. I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, it prints some kind of like reference thing that you can't really understand, or some short description, or
Oh.
yeah, I don't really remember exactly. Back to
So
that.
if,
Because we've been turning the logging off, but yeah.
yeah,
I can
anyways,
turn it on for a second if you want to see what it's doing, I guess.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think I've become enough of an expert in SQLize. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to learn anything more.
No, you just were asking. So yeah.
To be honest, I'm not really a Node.js guy either. Node.js isn't my favorite backend, but here we are, and this is what we're doing. All right. Anything else? We are way over. I think we set this up for an hour, but we're
good. Thank
Does
you.
anybody have anything else?
I mean, I don't really want to do it today, but I was going to look at my my Cypress test, but I mean, we've already been over 2 hours, so I don't really want to do that today. I should probably be putting more work in my capstone. But
yeah, I agree. The capstone is probably more important.
yeah.
And
At any point.
I'm sorry. Can
You
you
have my credit card information in.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah, we'll come back to you. Latonia, what are you saying?
Oh, I was just asking about what me and Kyle noted earlier about the anonymizing our API keys. So if not today, because I know we're way over, is that something you were gonna touch on in class? We talked about we were doing passwords and stuff. I'm just wondering if it'll fall with.
No, I wasn't going to touch on that this next week, but we need to pass API keys through environment variables.
Can we set up like a one-on-one or a two-on-one or something like that?
Yeah.
Or maybe other people would be interested. I don't know.
Do other folks have API keys? Anybody else using, like, I know Shaw's using SendGrid, but I think he might have figured that out for himself. Yeah, let's just have a meeting. Maybe we'll just do it after class one of the nights. You guys are just remind me. That's the big thing. I'm gonna forget, so just remind me, and I'll be happy to do it.
Wonderful.
Mine is actually on the front end, and Max seemed to think that it could be public, but I accidentally committed it to GitHub this weekend, and Google sent me an email, and I had to regenerate it. So I think it should be at least somewhat secured. He tried to help me do that, and I couldn't get it working. Also, at some point, I may have one that really does need to be on the back end and secured if I'm able to get the narrative playing, giving people directions, and that would be like the voice to text stuff on Google, which is more important to be secure, I guess, than the maps.
Yeah.
How you make me nervous. You make me nervous because I'm just like, how much stuff are you gonna pack into your capstone?
I don't know. I mean, I think that I just have to focus on getting the important stuff in there, but I kind of have like a list of priorities, and yeah.
Because here's the worst possible scenario is like this last week, we're going through the module content and you're like, I can't try this stuff on my capstone because my capstone's broken because I've got these extra features.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way as far as my stuff, because I just made a list like Kyle said she did, a priority list, like this is what I need right now. And I want that stuff done like this week. And so that's why I was able to figure out the API. I have 2 of them on the back end. that are being passed up, and I don't want to get to a place where I feel like I just added in all this extra stuff I really didn't need. So I'm just trying to.
Because here's what's going to happen this week is I've got a bunch of stuff to talk to you about that I want you to incorporate into your capstone. And if the capstones have a bunch of loose ends and we can't get them running and we can't get them deployed, because a lot of this is also next week we need to deploy. We're talking about security, not security necessarily on your local machine. Like we want to talk about security when it's deployed and on the internet where it matters. So we need to be in a position where we can do deploys and we can make changes to our code and deploy it. So
you're basically saying we should be set so that we can be doing this extra mega stuff. Yeah,
I applaud all of you for putting more functionality in there, but at like some point, I know it has to be stressful for you as well. So feel free to just take a step back and just like lock down functionality to what you have implemented, making that rock solid. And
yeah, no, as I said, I have a priority list. I'm not necessarily thinking of this as like a capstone and like when I do the presentation on August 26th, that's it. I'm never touching it again. So I just have like things that I may add at some point that I would want to know about. And if, I'm quite sure that I won't get any kind of narrative directions working before then. I would like to, if possible, get like autoplay when people arrive at the location, but it's more important to at least have like a map up there with visuals and, being able to click to get to the link once you've gotten to the place, that's like my target. And then if I have time, I'll start adding other things. So.
Okay, sounds good. Just giving you a heads up for next week because especially if you guys decide that you want to use what I'm showing you with the authorization and the authentication piece, it's going to be a pretty significant refactor, especially if you already have code set up for accepting username and passwords. So if you decide, Nathan, what you're showing me makes a lot of sense for my app, then we're going to need that app to be ready to go and ready to accept some of this new code.
I don't have any users or passwords though. I'm basically, my database is just to get the content onto my webpage. So I think, I'll watch that and I'll be interested because I actually have, I want to do that New York Times bestseller list thing after the program. I want to get that up as like a portfolio piece. And the way I have it set up, I have a reading list that I need to add a little more functionality with the database and stuff like that. But I will probably, in order to make that functional, I will probably need to have at least some basic form of users on that, because otherwise they're going to be storing the reading list in like a community thing,
Let me challenge you to rethink that thought about not having users. Not necessarily, I don't want you to have like a username and password database, but let me challenge that, because what happens when someone refreshes on the page? What if they're halfway through the documentary and they refresh? What happens? Do they start at the beginning? Do you kick them back to the beginning of the tour?
Well, it depends. It's not like a planned out tour. So my original idea was that they could look at the map and then, decide where they wanted to go. And when they got within a certain number of feet of that building or whatever, it would autoplay and they could click on sound effects and stuff like that. And, and then ideally they would have, they would select where they wanted to go and then it would give them audio narration of how to get there. But that's like down the road. So.
Well, I guess think of the username, the authentication piece, think of that more as adding personalization for each user, because if you're able to understand, okay, Nathan Evans just logged into the app and Nathan Evans has these sound settings associated with him. Nathan Evans has these, he's going to this one place. Think of that more as personalization that you can add. So if you know who the user is that's coming to your website, you can save some of their settings. You can save metadata about them. More interestingly, you could track how many times your app is being used. You could track what maybe the most frequently visited places are. Maybe you could use that as a metric for trying to steer people to other places because one place is really busy and all of your users are apparently going to that one place on their tour. So think of it not so much as we need a user account so that they can have a password and they can use it to do blah, 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 blah. Think of it more as you can track what users are doing, you can use that to
Okay,
turn
it
around.
will
and get them.
associate what I'm tracking with names, because I had thought about
Yeah.
like seeing what's visited the most and whatever, but I figured I could just do that with, you know, like how many times that particular code was accessed or whatever to play that
Mhm.
particular file, or how often somebody was within that geographic bounds that made it play or whatever.
And you could show them, hey, you've been to this place already. You've got 5
Mhm.
other places that you haven't visited. So think of it in that lens, not necessarily, we're just shoving username and password or authentication. We're just shoving that on there just because we.
Okay, so I can make a list of which sites they'd already been to. I mean, I only have 4 sites, so it's kind of, it doesn't seem logical for something like that, but I should be imagining it as a bigger thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. If there's no other questions, I'm going to switch back to Fabelio. We're going to get that DNS name hooked up, and then we will call it. Feel free to throw any other questions that you may have in chat. Otherwise, Fabelio, do you want to share your screen and
Okay,
we'll go ahead and wire this up?
this will be quick and painless, I hope.
Oh yeah, this last part will be really easy. You've done all the hard work. All right, so you've got a
Okay.
card. Let's click back to the Heroku icon. Yeah, up there on the.
Right there. Oops.
Okay, let's click into the front end. Okay, and then go to settings. We're going to go to that domains section again. So settings up in the top bar.
Settings right there.
Scroll down until you get to the domains block.
Oops.
There it is. Add domain.
Right.
Over on the
Oh.
right. Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's paste that domain. So again, you can go back to your Namecheap tab and copy the.
Okay, now is the domain name the one that I pasted a little bit earlier, or is the domain name the one that I bought from Namecheap?
It's both. That's what we're pasting. So if you click on the advanced DNS tab up in Chrome and jump back to Namecheap.
Okay,
So copy that.
copy that again.
Okay.
And jump back to here
Yep.
and paste. And then next.
Yep. Oh, so the end of the domain name, click back in that domain box here in this where you pasted. Backspace 1. No, keep the .com. There was just an extra space there at the end. Okay, now hit next.
Oh.
Cool. Grab that DNS target. So double click in that window. Yep.
You said double click?
Just double click. Yep.
Okay.
Control C or Command C, sorry.
Mhm.
All right, let's go back to Advanced DNS tab. This is where we're going to link Heroku up with, yep, scroll down. All right, now we have the value block for this DNS record. So click where that gray bar is, where we put the @ sign. Next to it, there's a box called target. See? Yep, click in there, paste. Okay, in that same line, hit that tiny little green checkbox next to the red X. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. Now all we do is we wait like 8 minutes at the fastest and 30 minutes for the slowest. So somewhere by at least in a half hour, if you go to fsbarrowin.com, it will take you to that Heroku.
Oh, okay. So I'm all set.
Yeah. So just to get your browser ready, go ahead and scroll up to the top of this and copy that domain name. Scroll. Yep. Copy FS. Yep.
Okay. Oops.
Copy that. Open up a new tab.
Let's see if I can get over here. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And enter.
This is your domain. I'm thinking it's gonna give you, I don't know what it's gonna give you for like the next 30 minutes, but in about 30 minutes, this will resolve with, oh,
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 crap.
holy smokes.
Okay.
Way to go, Namecheap.
Oh, cool.
And now
So it's all set.
notice in the URL how it says not secure.
Yes.
So instead of visiting fsbearway.com, go to the beginning of that URL. So edit that URL in the URL bar.
Go to the right here.
Nope, over to the right. Yep, right there at the very beginning of your URL. Click in there.
Okay.
Hit left hit the left arrow key to go to the beginning of this.
Left arrow key.
Okay,
Okay.
so you're at the beginning. Now type in https:// Yep, and enter.
Oh,
All right, this is what we're waiting on. So this is going to take a little bit to finish generating. So when for everybody else too, Heroku provisions the SSL certificates. So Heroku is going to take a little bit to create. Once you've linked the domain name, it's going to take it a little bit to generate that certificate. And the reason why is because it's having to do that accreditation. It's going back to, I don't know who they use to accredit these. I think it's probably VeriSign, because it's the big one. But anyways, in about 30 minutes or so, you should be able to refresh.
okay, great.
But for now, if you want, you can go to HTTP. But anyways, good job. All done setting up the front. You got to deploy. You got everything.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're ready for demo. Yep.
Yes.
All right.
So Nathan, I just had a housekeeping question. This is what's on. So you had mentioned there was stuff you wanted to get into. Is that stuff that's going to be added into the class? Or I'm just curious, did we cover the stuff that you had wanted to in addition to our questions, or?
Yeah, we covered it all.
We did? Oh, good.
I think we covered it in gratuitous detail. We went through a whole day of deploys. I hope at this point you guys feel like you've learned a lot about deployments, learned a lot about databases, learned a lot about Git especially. So cool. Yeah, no, of course. I'm glad that this was useful. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I'm gonna go try to get some of this Sunday and probably go outside and get away from a computer. So have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you all tomorrow for cryptography. All right, see you, everybody.
Regularly can score a run on an out, like 1 out, which is high. 2 0.